Whoa! Boy, this is off camber and aggressive uphill. Holy cow, this is one of the steepest I've ever been on. I'm going to do a trail review of my RZR S 1000 at Demon Run today. I've done some really short comments about the machine, but I've never done an on-trail review. So we're at Demon Run, January 6th. It's cold and snowy, and we'll do a review on the RZR S. Thank you, Billy and Jen, for the Christmas gift. I'm wearing it today, and hope everyone enjoys the review. So these are not ideal conditions for a side-by-side, because when you have a little bit of ice, you can't move your body weight on it to adjust. Where I like an ATV for these type of conditions. Now it's actually supposed to warm up. Was supposed to be warmer when we got down here, but looks like the weather forecast was slightly off. It was supposed to be about 36 degrees when we arrived today, and it's actually, as you can see, it's like 29 to maybe 29 degrees. Mixed bag.
Please watch the RZR front wheels and tell me when it changes from all-wheel drive to a four-wheel drive front lock diff. You can't tell me, because Polaris' system reacts that fast and is that good.
This is pretty. This is pretty. This is a pretty crossing. My favorite part of this trail. I gotta stay with Jordan on this hill. Alright, we got a steep incline coming up. I'm gonna hammer it and stay with Jordan. It's a fun incline, I gotta stay on him so I get in the video. Let's hammer it. In a high gear. Oh man, they regraded this. Oh man, they regraded this a couple times. They didn't have that in there. She'll run the hill, boys. She'll run the hill. This is a pretty crossing. My favorite part of this trail. I gotta stay with Jordan on this hill. Alright, we got a steep incline coming up. I'm gonna hammer it and stay with Jordan. It's a fun incline, I gotta stay on him so I get in the video. Let's hammer it. In a high gear. Oh man, they regraded this. Oh man, they regraded this a couple times. They didn't have that in there. She'll run the hill, boys. She'll run the hill. She wants to run it.
So as many of you know, I really love motorsports, but man, I'm into this scenery. And look at this shot. How many times do you see clouds running into the ground? Great view. Hope you enjoy it. So this camera view illustrates just how steep some of these hills are. The camera ATV is headed downhill, as am I, and we're looking back up the hill at the top of the peak, and the clouds appear to be running in the ground. Pretty cool. This RZR S1000 is my favorite side-by-side trail machine. I've owned 5 side-by-sides previous to this machine. The last one was a RZR Turbo. Great machine, but it was 64 inches to 65 inches wide, and it was 16-inch longer than this machine. And for trail riding, especially in the Northeast, size matters. I prefer a shorter machine because many of these trails were developed for ATVs, and we know side-by-sides are much wider than ATVs. This one's 12 inches, 13 inches wider than a typical ATV. From the back of the seat to the front bumper, it's essentially the same as a RZR XP, although it is narrow in width. From the back of the seat to the rear bumper, it's 16 inches shorter because it has an A-arm rear suspension and not a trailing arm rear suspension. You do lose some suspension travel, but it does have 13 inches of suspension travel, 12 inches of ground clearance, 100 horsepower, which is tuned and geared to scamper around the trail. It's quick. It doesn't have a top speed of 85 miles an hour, but it will run the trail quickly.
Camber and aggressive uphill. Holy cow, this is one of the steepest I've ever been on.
So I hope you can focus in and look at the suspension travel on the machine. Also the tires, how well they do in the mud, and the tread cleans itself. And also on the front of this machine, it took Polaris probably 4 years, but they came out with a great set of front fender flares that are much wider than the stock fender flares that come with it. Polaris finally offers a part to increase the width of the front fender flares, and they do a great job.
Wow, this is an off camber, and machine settled on its own, but made it through it. Oh, here's another off camber. We'll see how she does here. Try to pick a good line to minimize that.
Jordan is my camera ATV. He did a great job filming today, and I had to give a shout out on this move. It's got almost 3 wheels off the ground. Pretty impressive.
And then this is a very steep incline. I'm going to put her in the low. My ATV had no issues with this, so I don't foresee this. As you can see, it's steep. Let's give her a shot. I think someone blazed a trail through here. I don't remember these saplings when I was on my race. I don't remember the saplings when I was on my Sportsman. I think someone took a shortcut. A little bit of windrock at Tall Pines. tires on this RZR are Dirt Commanders, and this is what they're made for. I just think they are probably the best standard tire to come on a side-by-side. Even my RZR XPs, the tires that were on those, I think Bighorns did not perform as well as a muddy trail as these Dirt Commanders. They're just a rugged tire. Okay, we're on another black diamond. Should be no issue. Oh yeah, she doesn't have any problems with this. No problem whatsoever. Let's give her some juice. Oh yeah. Yeah. Would have been a little tight for a RZR XP. Now I'm in low gear. I probably could have easily done that in high. This does have engine braking on it, but she handles it with no problem whatsoever. It's geared and the engine is tuned for lower to mid-range throttle response. And if you can hear the engine, that's exactly what it's doing. And the suspension is fine. I'm going just under 20 miles an hour on these trails with roots, and she's handling it fine. Guys are having fun on the ice. This is where this machine, a side-by-side, does not do well, is on the ice. There's no anti-lock brakes on a side-by-side, and they can't move your body weight around. That is an old Grizzly, and man, look at how well they're built. These Polarises have their own growl to them. My machine's RZR's already muddy. And actually it's nice to get this thing out and run it. I need to run some fuel through it. I'd prefer to be on my ATV. But it's good to get this out and run some fuel through it. She's starting a little slow in the cold weather. Let's hammer her down up this hill. Little whoops here. Issue at all. The Grizzly's bouncing around a little bit. There's no issue with the RZR. Love riding on a little dusting of snow. Just love it. They didn't have that in there. She'll run the hill, boy. She'll run the hill. She wants to run it. Love that hill. Love this place. That creek crossing is just so pretty any time of year. Love it with just little dusting of snow. Now we're steep. Not too steep though. Going up a steep hill. They've cut these drainage. I didn't have anyone in front of me, I would be going faster on my ATV and the side-by-side. Now, I'll tell you, I don't normally drive fast. All these guys drive faster than I do, but when I'm going up this hill, for some reason I like to go faster than I normally do. I like to get in a power band and just run it up the hill. That's where the 1000 really pays off. It's almost like it's limitless power. In this side-by-side and an ATV. So I hope this video will show you that a 61-inch machine can ride most trails with an ATV and keep up, and maybe in some spots do better than an ATV. Both RZR S's 900, I've ridden with 900s and I've ridden with 1000s. Obviously, I'm driving one. They do very well on the trails that we ride on. No issues with width, 99% of the time. That's my favorite trail.